Can start there. Hi, everyone. This is the 10th session of the Business Planning Clinic with MREA. And today we're going to talk about putting it all together with focus. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading, but it is important. This is the $64,000 question. No horse gets anywhere until he is harnessed. No steam or gas ever drives anything until it's confined. No Niagara is ever turned into light and power until it is tunneled. No life ever grows great until it is focused, dedicated, and disciplined. These words were written by Harry Emerson Fosdick, and ever since I heard them, I can't get them out of my mind. After spending most of my adult life working with successful real estate agents, I'm convinced that they succeed through the power of narrowing their focus. You see, life doesn't just happen to you. Business success or failure doesn't just happen to you. It is all about choices about what you focus on and how you maintain your focus. So there was a PBS interview with Sony Fox, who is a former host of the popular The $64,000 Question Game, and related an interesting story about the tenacity of a young woman determined to appear on that game show. Although the young lady did have a degree in psychology, she was a stay-at-home mom with her first child while her husband pursued his internship. This was back in the 50s. The couple watched the $64,000 question show regularly, and eventually the young woman decided to finally audition for the show. Even though she had expertise in her field, one of the prerequisites of the show, she was turned down. A young housewife who was a psychologist didn't seem to inspire their imagination. They were looking for dramatic juxtapositions, like a fisherman who is a mathematician or a pilot who cataloged butterflies. Determined to make the show, the young woman struck upon the idea to fashion herself into a boxing expert. So she began studying in earnest, checked out every single book she could find on boxing, and started going to boxing matches. After a year, she sent in another application with her picture and listed her avocations as housewife, psychologist, and boxing expert. She got on the show and went on to win $64,000. But the story doesn't end there. She used the winnings to complete her doctorate degree in psychology and leveraged her game show celebrity status to kickstart what has become a tremendously successful career. You may know her as Dr. Joyce Brothers. Sony Fox had this to say about her. One thing you have to know about Joyce is she is absolutely purposeful. Write that down. Purposeful in your life. I mean, if she wants something, she goes after it. Dr. Joyce Brothers knew what she wanted, focused on it, and achieved it. She proved that today's focus could ultimately manifest itself into tomorrow's reality. I shared that with you because we do need to be purposeful, right? And we need to have focus. And if we have no goal or no plan, we're just going to run around in circles. So what are we working to achieve if we don't have a goal in the end, right? So I want you to write down these 5 simple steps. At the outset of this book, it was clear that we believed high achievement may be simpler than you think. Not just simpler, but what we meant simpler is we need to do, and it's absolutely possible for anyone to do it. However, when we say anybody can succeed, we do not mean everybody can succeed. There is a very big difference. It is our belief that anybody can succeed at a high level, but not everybody will. Why is this? Goes back to focus. We don't know why people are unable to achieve focus. We just know that it is little difference that makes the big difference in their lives. The great thing about your sales business is that it's not about what everyone can do. It is about what you can and what you will do. It is not about opportunity, not averages. The future of your real estate business depends directly upon your ability to focus it in the proper direction. The direction you aim determines the targets that you can hit. Aim low, and you will probably only have the option of hitting a variety of low targets. Pull your aim higher, and you'll probably have the option of hitting higher targets. Just remember that when you aim low, only a stray bullet hits a high target. Big can be great, but only if you narrowly focus your business on simple issues that make big happen in a great way. The bigger you want your business to be, the narrower your focus will need to be on what matters. In the end, the size of the business or staff isn't really your main concern. It's the focus. Stephen McKenna once observed that all good is gained by those whose thought and life are kept pointed close to one main thing, not scattered abroad 1,000. With this in mind, I want to suggest 5 simple steps that can lead you to great focus and open up a world of possibilities in your business and in your life. Number 1, create a personal plan and make process your focus. Number 1, create a personal plan and make process your focus. We'll go into a little bit, we'll elaborate on each individually in a second. Number 2, time block to get your focus. Time block to get your focus. Number 3, get accountability to keep your focus. Get accountability to keep your focus. Number 4, make sure your environment supports your focus. Make sure your environment supports your focus. And number 5, keep your energy to maintain your focus. Keep your energy to maintain your focus. There was one word that was captured in every one of these steps, and that was the word focus. Let's go back to number 1. Create a personal plan and then process your focus. So the first thing I want you to do is to set high goals in key areas. Anton Chekhov taught, the man is what he believes. I want you to think and believe big. Big goals require big models, and that's what I'm really after. I want you following a big plan that is built from a big model. What I know for sure is that the achievement of big goals is only possible when the plan you are following is built from a big model, and you make the implementation process your focus. An amazing truth is that process brings focus even when we ourselves feel unfocused. Call it a trick of the trade if you want, but it is true. When you concentrate on the process of implementing a plan that comes from a big model, big achievement becomes not just possible, but more likely. Now, this doesn't mean that simply because you follow a big process, you'll hit that big goal. What it does mean is that it won't be possible to become your very best if you don't. The truth I've come to know very clearly is that seeking mastery is a process and a path. It's not an event. Therefore, staying on the path and working from the process will now become your focus. Okay? So, rule, aim high. It's appropriate here to reiterate to the opening concept of this book, aiming high matters. On the other hand, knowing the minimum income you need to make your life the way you want is important. On the other hand, letting the number become the driving force of your business plan will always hold you back. Can you see that now? Goals are the end point. Goals are your finish line. And what we do when we cross the finish line, we stop. We express our relief at having made it either a cry or joy, and then we stop. The thing you must be careful about with goal setting is to avoid letting your goals become ceilings to your future achievement. Low, even moderate goals are limiting. At best, we will stop for a while. We realize we still have gas in the tank and go about setting new goals to keep us going and to motivate us to grow. Time is lost and opportunities are missed. A much better path is to set goals that place the finish line far, far away and allow ourselves to pause to catch our breath or celebrate our progress along the way. Big goals keep your feet moving and lead us closer to our highest, biggest potential. So remember that model in Keller Williams? Leads, listings, leverage. Leads use a database-driven approach with a focus on seller listing leads. Listings get the number of seller listings you must get and market those listings systematically to gain additional buyer and seller leads. And leverage is your recruit capacity talent with an emphasis of your 3 key hires and require the talent to implement systems and tools. So stay focused on those 3 things. Okay. They have a try. It's T.R.Y. Not to be cute, but rather to be instructive. I would ask you to view the word try as an acronym for the real you. Through years of teaching, we know for a fact that most people will never know who they really are or what they can really achieve because they fear to try. The real you can show up only when you try. So don't be left high and dry, just aim high and try. All right, number 2. I know that Tracy just jumped on. So Tracy, we are going over the 5 steps, 5 simple steps at focusing your business. The first was create a personal plan and then make process your focus. And number 2 is time block for focus. And that's what we're going to go over now. The next thing you want to do is begin to time block. The second step in making your business success happen is focusing on making sure the key things get done. Time blocking will help you with this. Think of it this way. If everyone has the same amount of time, then success at a high level isn't about how much time you have, but rather how you use the time. Business versus busyness. All right, I feel like I need to just be talking to myself. All real estate agents have a choice. They can either be in business or in busyness. Most, to be quite honest, are in busyness. Why? Their time is not focused on what really must be done to drive their business to the next big level. They are not clear about their models, so they are not clear about the activities and priorities in which they should focus their time. The millionaire real estate agents are just the opposite. They don't have a to-do list. They have a have-to list. Through time blocking, they make sure that they have to get things done before the to-do. They know what has to happen, and at the beginning of each year, month, week, and day, they will open up their calendar and block off the appropriate amount of time to get the things done. Everything else, their to-do list, gets scheduled after and around the have-to list of their activities to grow their business. So you have a have-to list and a to-do list. Have-to is priority. When you give every activity equal importance, prioritization happens only when deadlines and problems force you to react to them. Let's face it, the stuff that matters most isn't always the most fun. This leads people who work off of to-do lists to act like children picking at their food. They start with their favorites and save the veggies for last. So by the time they get to them, their business veggies, if you will, their tasks that would have been easier or more effective if done earlier are cold and now hard to get down, or they might be full, right? Or they might be worn out and not have room or energy to do their have-to list, okay? High achievers are sensible enough to prioritize activities according to their ability to make the business grow, and then time block their calendars to ensure they have time to do them. They look first to take care of lead generation with a focus on seller listings. Only when these important items get done and done well do they turn their focus to other less important activities. It's the difference between business and busyness. It's the difference between productivity and activity. It is the difference between the millionaire real estate agent and everyone else. So you need to budget your time. And so read this. Many, many years ago, I learned a basic truth about time blocking. Until your goals consistently hit your calendar, you will not consistently hit your goals. This truth makes your calendar an achievement power tool, just as your budget is your financial power tool. In fact, time blocking can just easily be thought of as a way to budget your time. Okay? There's a girl named Valerie Fitzgerald in Los Angeles that follows the millionaire real estate agent. Get this, guys. Her sales volume, now she's in California. Her sales volume is 160 million. That's incredible. She says, here's her quote: I have a peaceful morning to start out every day. I work out 3 times a week. I end my work day at 6 or 6:30 p.m. I take no phone calls at home. She was able to do $160 million in production by shutting off her phone at 6:30. That is crazy. Okay, so go to your calendar, set aside in advance enough time to accomplish the activities that will drive and build your business to its highest potential. Remember the model: listings, lead, listings, leverage. Okay, focus your time blocking. Let's get a little bit more clear. The habit is not about blocking off your time. that would be too rigid and impractical. The idea is to block off enough time for your key 20% activities. Time blocking up front is actually the easy part. Just go to your calendar and do it. The real challenge is to honor the system by protecting the time you set aside and utilizing it with absolute focus in the face of the inevitable barrage of false priorities and interruptions that appear throughout your day. You have to remind yourself that nothing, let me repeat, nothing is more important to your business than your focus on lead generations, listing, and the pursuit of leverage through talent. With the exception, there is one thing. If something happens in your family and they need you as a parent, as a grandparent, whatever, of course, you can't say, sorry, I have 20 more minutes of my activities. I cannot meet you at the hospital. I mean, obviously, some things are going to take precedent, but they mean taking a phone call in that hour that you've set aside to do production calling to get listings or calling leads or whatever. Take your phone and put it on silent and put it in the other room. Because we're all realtors and human beings, and we live by what? The telephone. And we allow our phone to distract us of our time blocking. So I'm going to give a just very quick live example of my biggest years in real estate and something I did every fall, and I had to block time because I didn't have a choice. So here's a perfect example. So I was a field hockey coach for Berkeley Middle School in Williamsburg, Virginia. I did it for 3 years. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade were my girls. And I had to be on that field hockey field starting in August, Monday through Friday at 3:30 to 5:45. Every Monday through Friday, August through the end of October, if not the first week of November. And then I had to time block my schedule of games that sometimes went over that on those evenings. So I had to take my calendar and time block. I couldn't not show up with 24 girls on the field hockey team standing out there waiting for their coach. So that was a priority. So those 3 years and real estate, I did over $15 million a year by myself with no assistant. And I time blocked that much time out, August, September, October. So when I had a client come in town, and they said, oh, we'd like to see property this day and this day. I'm like, I can show you property those 2 days. And I have a hard stop at 3 o'clock. I have another appointment. I never, ever, ever told them what I was doing. But I had to, it was a had to, and I never let it interrupt. And as the good Lord is my witness, it was the best 3 years of real estate in my life. And I did it by time blocking something that was important to my children in the school and to my community. So I also did deliver Meals on Wheels for 2 of those years. Every Thursday morning, I went to William and Mary, picked up all the meals, delivered. I was done by 11 o'clock, 11:30. I think I started at about 9:45. And then I could show property. But anyway, it does work. You just got to do it, and don't let anything interrupt it. So number 3, get accountability to keep your focus. Get accountability to keep your focus. Working with and observing agents over the years has taught a few things. Everyone has habits, behaviors, biases, and skills that at some point create a natural ceiling of achievement for them. All agents reach a point where they say, I'm doing my best, and this is the best that I can do. That's what we call a hard achievement ceiling. And no matter who you are, you will hit one. Breaking through it will require your focus on the key areas and maintaining that focus over time. So guys, long-term focus. Getting focus is the easy part. Keeping it over time is not. Acknowledging that focus is different to keep is a great place to start. How good are you at maintaining your focus? Honestly, do exercise regimes and nutrition plans remain a part of your life, or do you pursue them just long enough to get results and then stop, and then you gain all your weight back? You go to the gym January to mid-February, you miss a couple of days at the gym, and then you stop. All I'm saying is I've done that. I've been there. The core model systems and issues of high success are clearly identified in this book, but to be your best, you'll have to focus on them daily and for as long as it takes. By virtue of the fact that they are very big goals and big models, it may take a long while, but it's your focus. Staying the course is going to be critical. Okay. Why do you think, and y'all can come off mute, this is not supposed to be about me reading and talking, but why do you think long-term focus is hard to achieve, Tracy?
I'm trying to unmute.
I hear you.
Trying to unmute. Because consistency is hard. And we always want to have other things that are more fun to take the place of the hard things that we need to do consistently for success. In a nutshell.
Honestly, you cheated. I'm just kidding. But you nailed it, because they say that prolonged focus for most people feels so routine, it leads to boredom. And you nailed it when you said, oh, something more fun is over here. Well, I'm doing the more fun, right? So, yeah. I think in all the, I mean, my God, you've got Brian Buffini, you've got Tom Ferry, you've got different MAPS coaches. It all boils down to the same thing. And you nailed it again with the consistency and actually following your own plan to modeling your same goals. And something more fun comes up, I'll be the first to tell you, I want to do the more fun. Absolutely. So if we all know, and we just talked about it, well, this is interesting before I go on. For the technique to work, you had to, all right, hold on. Let me go back to this. Okay, attention drifts, blah, blah, blah. Think back to when you were a kid and you set out to singe a leaf or burn lines in a wooden plank by hovering your magnifying glass over the leaf. Did anybody try to burn a leaf with a magnifying glass in the sun? Okay, well, if you didn't, just follow me. For the technique to work, you had to hold that magnifying glass perfectly still to focus the sun's rays on a tight spot and then keep it there until the leaf or wood crackled and burned. You learned quickly that moving that magnifying glass around too much didn't have any effect at all on the leaf. One approach created fire, the other brown spots. One required long-term focus and the other did not. One was hard and the other wasn't. So if we all know that focus brings results, then long-term focus brings long-term results. Everyone can focus on something for a short period of time. The trick is to learn how to focus on something day in and day out on the long haul. Long-term results require that you focus your efforts on the smallest number of key activities that will in turn generate the greatest results. No other principle is violated more in the real estate business than the basic principle of long-term focus. In no other industry that I know of do people change strategies so often. This is due in part to intense competition and also to the extraordinary number of differing opinions about what real estate practitioners should be doing with their time. This is very unfortunate since all experience points to a simple path of beginning with a proven big model and riding the jumbo jet as far as you can go. All right. It's all about focus. Accountability for refocus. Accountability is an empowering process for continuous focus and refocus. Let's pull together some points we've made thus far in our quest to get you powerful and prolonged focus. We created a personal plan with big goals and big models, made the implementation process of that plan our focus. We have focus. Next, we time blocked our time to do the key activities that we have always protected. This gave us short-term focus by allocating our time to fit in that focus. Then reality hit. We discover it's hard to keep our focus over time. Even with time blocking, we discover that time blocking alone won't keep us focused over time. We need help. That's where the solution comes in with accountability. Unfortunately, most people have a warped understanding of accountability and little to no appreciating for how empowering it can be in their life. Insofar as your focus is concerned, accountability picks up where time blocking leaves off. And you get the best accountability through a relationship that follows a process to refocus you regularly. It sharpens you over time. Accountability shapes and reshapes your focus. It's a learning loop for seeing clearly what you should be focusing on and feedback loop for refocusing when your attention slides. So let's do a real life. Real estate off to the side. Tracy, if you're still on, I know you were a school teacher. Can you come off mute? Tracy. All right, she might have stepped away.
I'm trying. I have 14,000 windows open.
I almost said, I guess she's not focused. No, I'm just kidding. So Tracy, you were a school teacher. What did you teach?
Public speaking.
What public speaking? Okay. Was that a college class, high school?
College.
College. Okay. God, I hope I don't mess here. I'm reaching for the sky because I didn't know I was going to do this. But in your public speaking as a professor, did you ever give any homework? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Wouldn't it be safe to say the homework kind of equaled accountability?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not necessarily the homework was for you. The homework was to better them.
Absolutely. And when
Yeah.
we did the real estate classes, all of those quizzes and stuff that they made us take with Mosley, that was the only way that I passed the class, was to take all those quizzes and get into a routine of studying every day, doing it and memorizing it.
Right. But let's talk about that personal calendar we were just talking about in time blocking. So if we've time blocked, I'm going to go back to my field hockey scenario of those 3 years, right? I've time blocked the time. I'm still running a very successful real estate career. My accountability was to my field hockey players and my athletic department director they even asked me, Alice, you would be excellent for this position, but are you sure you can do it with your real estate career? I'm like, absolutely. Well, I'm being held accountable, right? So isn't it safe to say we got to hold our own self accountable to our time blocking? So if you don't want to involve your significant other or another person at work or me or something like that, you need to be accountable for your own have-tos in your time block. And listen, I'm sitting here preaching this stuff, and I'm sitting here right now, full confession, going, all right, Alice, when you get off this, you got to do a better job of time blocking, because I am so guilty of letting the interruptions interrupt my plan. And I've just got to stop. If I have to put a note on my door, making calls available at 11 or whatever, I have got to pick an hour every day consistently, that word you said, and make my own self accountable. Or just like a diet, you're very strict on the diet, you're strict on the diet, you're strict on the diet. I've just been invited to the Killerist party at Smith Mountain Lake. Well, I'm gonna cheat that day. And then the next day I'm like, well, it's the weekend. I'm gonna start over again. It is so hard. It's like everything I did for 5 days went out the window because I cheated on my own have-tos, right? So you gotta be, what's the word? Disciplined in that focus. All right. So you do need someone else to hold you accountable. I said could be yourself, but they're saying no. You have to have someone else to hold you accountable. And you need to keep track of those numbers. Your goal numbers may be the target, may mean nothing if you are not taking regular measurements of your progress. So we call that taking your temperature, right? Take your temperature along the way to see how you're meeting your mini goals to your big goal. Real estate agents who do not keep track of their lead generation, their sales productivity, and financial performance will be hard pressed ever to sustain high level results on a consistent nature. Okay. With your numbers in hand, accountability is about getting and using feedback. This means to take time on a regular planned basis to meet with whoever is holding you accountable. Look at your business numbers and refocus your efforts. This is the essence of the accountability feedback loop. Set goals, do the key activities, measure the results, evaluate the process, make adjustments. That's called refocus when necessary. The more often you go through this process, the better your ability to maintain your focus on the activities that yield you the best results. Make no mistake, you cannot effectively do this alone. You must involve someone else to keep you accountable. Or what's going to happen? You start cheating if you're your accountability partner yourself. So, Alice, did you do that today? No? Okay. Yeah. It's hard to confess to someone else that you didn't do it. All right. So accountability is the most powerful tool for achieving big goals and long-term success. Keep track and feed it back. That, in fact, could be the focus motto in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. In the end, it's not only a refocus tool for themselves, but also for their key people. As we pointed out in Receive a Million, accountability is the key to achieving high performance and success through others. So one final thought on accountability. Frequency matters. The more you try to achieve or the greater the personal growth you seek, the more frequent your accountability will need to be. In business, a monthly review of activities, production, and financial performance is the minimum. So once a month to meet with that accountability partner. For performance, personal performance accountability, we recommend a more rigorous weekly or bi-weekly schedule of review and accountability. Some top performers have daily meetings in person or by phone with their coach or consultant. Over time, you will learn what frequency of accountability works best for you. The obvious truth is this. It's the Nike slogan, just do it, just do it. So number 4, make sure your environment supports your focus. Environment is one of the most underrated, catch you by surprise issues of success. Whether you are or unaware of it, your business environment and your personal environment matter. They matter a lot. In fact, your environment matters so much that it may be one of the most important focus support issues that you will ever have to deal with. While people may join companies for a lot of various reasons, they usually stay or leave for one, the environment and its impact it had on them. We believe strongly that your environment is a critical issue to your success and that it must clearly support your goals. The first time I ever experienced this was when I'm reading, this is not me, was when I first entered management. In my first year, I encountered a surprising number of women who one by one ended up in my office in crisis and often in tears. They were dealing with frustration over their situation. These women were in their late 40s and early 50s after raising a husband and a family had re-entered the working world. I never thought of it as raising my husband. That's new. After years of sacrifice in the name of family, this was to be their time for professional self-expression. And they were each having a serious challenge. Why? Because the deal their family had cut with them was this: we'll support your work as long as dinner is on the table at 6 o'clock and our lives are not disrupted by your altered career phase you are now going through. I was in shock. These women were in situations where they were in deep psychological and physical turmoil because a key aspect of their personal environment, their family, was not supporting them. So let me rephrase. A key aspect to your personal environment was pretty much working in direct opposition to their goals. This was when I realized that environment absolutely must support your goals. So when you are getting into goal setting and you are a family person and has been making dinner and having dinner on the table forever and ever, and it's a routine, well, you got to time block that, or have a family meeting with your family and have an understanding that this is a priority, but they need to support you in your new line of your real estate business. So And if there's something you don't want to change, you time block it in. You will never work between 4:30 and 6:30. I had a successful agent in my company. She was in the business 27 years when I got into the business. I went around, I wanted to know everybody's secret sauce. And I asked her what her secret sauce was. She said, a family balanced life. I will not work on Sundays. I said, well, you've never done an open house? She goes, I do my open houses on Saturdays. Nobody said there's a rule. So she got so much business because she did her open houses on Saturdays and everybody else did their open houses on Sundays. She got a ton of business. She wasn't competing with everybody else's open houses. So just a thought. Okay, let's see what time we got. Okay, it's 1:46. So your environment has an impact on you constantly. It either builds you up and supports you, or it tears you down and fights you. Sometimes it is right in front of you. Other times it will creep up and take you by surprise. So the more you're aware of the power of your surroundings that will affect your life, the sooner you can address it and become the chief architect of your own environment. By being the chief architect, you reduce the risk of becoming a victim of it. As your chief architect, there are two important design issues that you must deal with: your physical environment and your people environment. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to skip. The key issue of your physical environment is productivity. One of the key elements to reach your full potential is your physical environment and how well it matches up to, supports, and focuses you in your endless pursuit of productivity. So take time to fix it if it's not working for you. Your people environment. The other main environmental issue is people. If your physical environment is about productivity, then your people environment is about energy and synergy. Your people environment is composed of three groups: the people you're in business with, your team, your company, and other agents, the people you do business with, your clients and your vendors, and the people outside your business, your family and your friends. What most fail to realize is that you are the gatekeeper and you can control who you let into your world, thus becoming an architect of your own people environment. This is where recruitment of talent plays yet another significant role in your life. The better you are at this, the better your people environment, the better your support, the better your focus, the less time you'll have to spend at the unsavory task of weeding out the bad. So if you are looking for an assistant, say, and you vetted them and thought it was great, and just after 2 weeks, you know it's not jiving up on how you want it to be, start over. I know Gary Keller, I believe, went through 3, I think he said, before he found his one. And she has been working with him, don't quote me, but numerous years, like I think over 20. Like his right hand, that's a female assistant that knows his family, knows his business, and he attributes a lot of his success by hiring that one person, but he didn't get it right the first time. Okay, so it's okay. You gotta put them into your people environment. What's working for you. So the very fifth thing that we're going to go over is keeping your energy to maintain your focus. So the fact is that your ability to maintain your focus at a high level over time would largely depend on whether or not you can stay consistently and enthusiastic and energized. Getting and sustaining enthusiasm and energy is a bit of a mystery. High achievement requires big energy. Achievement can also be a source of energy and enthusiasm. So which comes first? The energy or the achievement? Says, I don't know. What I do know is that you can't reach big goals without a big sustained effort. And a big sustained effort requires big sustained energy. High achievers, certainly the millionaire real estate agents, have big energy. The trick is learning how to get it and keep it. Life is energy. For all applications and complexities, when you boil Einstein's E equals MC squared down to the basics, all it says is that everything is energy. Everything is energy, even our physical bodies. After some reflection, I've come to the point of view that what you do with your life and how you do it either adds energy or subtracts energy from your life. The energy you have at your disposal, the fuel for your life, is determined by the choices that you make. Metaphysics aside, there are some very specific things that you can do to increase energy and thereby maintain focus. First, I recommend taking a long look at the 5 energy areas in the Millionaire Real Estate book. Okay, so 5 levels of energy areas. The Millionaire Real Estate Energy Plan. Here we go. Big plan for big energy. There are 5 areas in which we need energy. There are you need spiritual energy, physical energy, emotional energy, mental energy, and business energy. The simple formula is to block off my time such that I can be assumed to be able to pull a lot of energy into my life every day. Learn that the world doesn't really get along until about 10:30 to 11. If you really want to get something done with minimum of interruptions, you'll do it before 11 o'clock. When the phone starts to ring and people start popping by, your energy routine is designed with an 11 a.m. end time in mind. So this was just this person who wrote this plan. Get up every day by 6 a.m. Meditate and pray for your spiritual energy. Then exercise and eat for your physical energy. Hug and kiss and laugh with my family for emotional energy. Try to do it so that you get to spend time with most of them and still get to the office between 8 and 9. Most people plan for emotional energy time in the evenings or on weekends when it can do little for their daily pursuit of big goals. Plan and count your calendar day for mental energy. Spend most energized hours in the office working hard on lead generation and recruiting talent for business energy, and never slack off before 11 a.m. It's funny, but early hours of intense focus tend to pull me through pull you through the rest of your day. You can get so much going that it takes the whole afternoon just to wrap things up. That's positive energy creating amazing momentum in your life. So to be phenomenally productive because of your earlier actions and your prioritize, those are few structured hours for each day that can make all the difference in the world. So energy does matter. All right. So Conclusion. I talked about focus. It's the linchpin in your pursuit of excellence. If we've done our job with this book, you should now know where your focus needs to be today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your careers. Leads, listings, leverage may be the cornerstone issues between you and being in your great real estate sales. But if you can develop the kind of intense focus necessary and to become a millionaire real estate agent, that same powerful focus will be yours to apply in all areas of your life. If we've learned anything, we've learned that when you think big, you think possibilities. You think, what can I possibly do if I really tried? What is possible in my life? When you think possibilities at this level, you can seek out big models and processes and then make them your focus. The big models, the big goals will pull you up through smaller goals to your highest achievements possible. You end up living larger, achieving the most you could achieve, and becoming the best that you could become. So wrapping everything up, in the end, the distinguished characteristic of high achievers in their ability to maintain their focus over time. We are capable of great focus, but this personal discipline must be fostered and nurtured into our everyday lives. So create a personal plan and process your focus, time block for your focus, get accountability to keep your focus, make sure your environment supports your focus, keep your energy to maintain your focus. This is for you to believe and seek the possibility that your life holds. Think big, act bold, live large, and become the very best you can become. So does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Okay, guys, it's 1:57. This wraps up our business planning clinic for the MREA. You want to go back and watch? They're all recorded, and Shalaya sends out all the links to any sessions that you might have missed. So thank you all for your participation over the course of these 10 periods.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you. Bye-bye.